Yeah, it could be to be determined. Okay. Which do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the UFC event last week, or do you want to talk about the fight last night?
So, I mean, do the introduction first
The
because we
introduction.
haven't done an episode in like 3 years.
It's true. What's up, you guys? It's the pod that's back. It's
I don't remember
um
my name.
I don't remember my name too well. It's Alonzo,
What's going on,
Andrew,
guys?
and anything we can think of for right now.
We're
Um,
rebranding.
we're rebranding it. Yeah. So we're coming back. Instead of doing just like a pop culture current events thing, I kind of want to have a specific niche. So I was thinking, why don't we do like UFC or fighting or something like that, or something I could get into and Andrew's already into. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, you definitely took the sacrifice on this one. Thanks,
I,
bud.
there's no sacrifice. I mean, I like it.
So yeah, we're getting into, well, I'm getting him into MMA now, so and boxing, I guess a little bit. So back-to-back weeks here, you saw a few mega fights, right?
Yeah, I saw.
So what was your opinion of, we saw the Oliveira versus Poirier, and we saw, well, you saw
Yeah, I
Paul
didn't
versus
see you.
Woodley too.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I saw Oliver. Which one do I want to start with? I think I'll start with the one that's freshest in my mind first. Since I saw it just last night, and I was also extremely intoxicated when I saw it. Um, so yeah, I watched the Jake Paul versus Woodley fight. And the fight right before that, I think it was one of the names was Gutierrez. I don't know, but
Amanda Serrano.
yeah, them. They fought. I saw that. I saw like the last like 3 rounds of that and Jake Paul versus Woodley. So okay. First thing first, Jake Paul Woodley, they're coming out. Woodley comes out to with Joyner Lucas rapping next to him. Red flag right there. That's the first red flag. I'm pretty sure that was Joyner Lucas. It could have been Anderson Pack. I don't know which one it was. Red flag anyway.
Were
He
you that
comes
intoxicated, or was it just hard to tell?
it was hard to tell.
Oh,
It had nothing
okay.
to do with me being intoxicated. So yeah, he walks out with them, and then yeah, that was interesting. And then they pan to his mom. Another red flag. Why's your mom there? And then
Oh no, no, you don't. Okay, so little context there. Tyron Woodley's mom is like a big character in herself and like MMA and everything.
wait, really?
Yeah, like Mama Woodley, she's widely
Okay,
loved and everything.
okay, never
Honestly,
mind.
she's probably got more love than Tyron, especially at this point.
Oh, okay, my bad then. Sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, UFC community, Mama Woodley. My bad. I'm not. I just getting into it. I don't know. So then, okay. No, she's a sweet lady. I was kidding. And then Jake Paul comes down. No, yeah, Jake Paul. Me and my girlfriend were talking about Jake Paul because, like, in the pre-videos, he's like, yeah, like, bro, growing up, I didn't have shit, and they were talking about like he's
Oh
from
my god.
Cleveland, and I was just saying, I was telling her, I was like, bro, Andrew's always talking about how, and this guy is always talking about how he didn't grow up with anything, and he grew up in Westlake, and like, the streets of Westlake, it was so rough, and I was just like, bro, this guy's ridiculous. So then Jake Paul comes down, and the song he comes down to is extremely weird. I don't remember exactly what song it was. I just remember it not fitting the tone at all. And he was wearing a British shirt, like a British like over boxing shirt that
Yeah.
said like Jake Paul. And I was really confused.
Did you not see what it said on it on the little side?
What did it say?
Um, so you know how this fight was supposed to be Tommy Fury originally, right?
Okay.
So he's he's British and he pulled out because of a little injury. I don't remember exactly what, but the little thing he had on the British flag said, "Hey Tommy, wish you could be here, but I guess watching
Uh
from TV is cool too."
okay.
Something along the
Okay.
lines of that.
Okay. Because I was really confused. I was like, why is he walking out to this song and why is he wearing a British shirt?
It's
Okay.
just mocking him, yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, that happens. Jake Paul Tommy and Jake Paul and Woodley in the ring, not Tommy. And then the fight starts, and I mean, it looks like Woodley is beating his ass. To be honest, I mean, he's getting into him pretty good. I'm like, well, he's really hitting him. This might be real, like we're getting in the rounds 1, 2, 3. I think it went to round 5. Like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jake
He
Paul is
FaceTimed
bleeding.
me in like 3.
Yeah, yeah. Jake Paul was bleeding, started bleeding in 3. Like he was bleeding intensely. Like blood was like running down his face. Like it looked like a WWE match. I was like, whoa, like this might just be a real fight. Like I started to believe. I was like, is this real?
Compares it to a WWE match. This might be real.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, okay, like Woodley might actually beat this guy. And then come round 4 or 5, they're fighting, and then like there's everything else is stellar. I mean, they're doing great. And then all of a sudden, Woodley like drops his guard for like 1 second. Like literally, like I didn't even see it. It was how fast it was. Like I looked away from the screen and talked to Mariah for like 1 second. And then all I see is like the aftermath of Woodley getting punched straight into I punched my chin, straight into his chin. And then he just freaking falls straight down, like plank on the ground. I'm just like his left. I'm just like, what the heck? Like it was like 1 second. I looked away for 1 second, and he's just down. I was just like, this is nuts. This isn't real. But I don't know. I still don't know if it's real or not. It just did not look very real. I don't know.
I think it's real at this point. It's just like I see a lot of people still comparing it to being fake or rigged, and it's like it would just be so much effort to get like a new opponent on 2 weeks notice and then like rig it with him to make sure he goes down at a certain time. Everyone's talking about how like Jake Paul signaled him to like drop his guard or whatever, but he just feinted a jab so that Woodley would drop the guard. It's like it's a normal boxing thing.
Mm,
But yeah, so it was round 6 too. I don't know if you remember that.
okay.
And yeah, that shot just sounded like a fucking brick hitting him. I think I think what in reality is it's not it being fake, but it's that Tyron's fucking 40 years old. And like his chin is just going and he's fighting a 24-year-old probably on steroids.
That's fair. So
So
that might be it, honestly. I didn't know he was 40 until you told me that, actually.
39, I guess.
He's 40. Okay. That makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes
And
more
just
sense to me.
and honestly, it would have been again embarrassing if Jake Paul couldn't have won.
That is fair as well. So then, okay. So then Jake Paul is now 5-0.
Yeah.
Uh,
And now the only fight that makes sense is Tommy Fury again. It's
yeah,
annoying. See, this is what gets so annoying about Jake Paul fights is like again, if something was slightly different last night, I think he would have lost. Like based on obviously I didn't watch it because I couldn't stomach seeing Woodley get knocked out because I knew that shit was gonna happen. But if it wasn't Woodley in there and if it was Tommy Fury last night, based on what I've heard of Jake Paul, his performance last night, it sounds like Tommy Fury would have had a pretty easy time.
okay. Yeah. I mean, like, what was the injury that Tommy Fury had that stopped him?
He had a broken rib
Oh,
and a chest infection.
oh, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense,
Yeah,
man. Because
it
Jake
was
Paul's like,
really it's really awkward too because Tyson Fury came out in an interview like a week before they announced Tommy Fury had to pull out, and he's like, Tommy could have his worst night ever. He could show up with a broken hand, 2 left feet, his clothes on backwards, a broken rib, and he'd still beat Jake Paul. And then a week later, he's pulling out for a broken rib.
so is he like, do you think they kicked him out of the family like they said, or no?
No, I wonder if he also wanted to pull out to stay in the family. Didn't want to risk it.
Dang, that's nuts. I mean, yeah, I don't think I would box one if I had a broken rib. That just sounds very painful. And a chest infection. I mean, I get it. Jake Paul was calling him a bitch. He was like, bro, you're a bitch. Like you ran away
Yeah,
from a fight. I was like, dang.
because I mean, fighters are often known for like going into fights with like some sort of injury regardless. It's just like a part of um are you good? You hear that?
Yeah.
We're recording right now. Oh my gosh. We just got a new mattress in the mail.
Oh, okay. That's okay. This is just a quick one anyway.
Yeah.
Funny.
So where were we even saying?
What are we talking about? Tommy Fury being hurt.
Oh yeah, a lot of fighters are known for going into fights like with injuries regardless. It's just a part of training and like your body
Okay.
gets a little overtrained. But I don't know. I think that mentality is kind of like bad. Like I don't think fighters should be like encouraged to go into fights with like broken ribs and shit because that's just how
Yeah.
you get worse injuries.
Yeah, I don't think
But
fighters should do that either.
what do I know? What do I know? Maybe like minor shit, like you got like a pulled muscle or something, like don't pull out, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like if something's broken or you have like an infection or something like that, I feel like you should not be fighting.
So yeah, I also saw Woodley tried to fucking suplex Jake in one of the rounds.
Yeah.
I saw like people tweeting about it. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? There's no way that happened.
No, he tried. He did slam him. He did actually slam him because like he had him like I don't remember. I think Jake Paul was a little bit like on top of him, and then all of a sudden like Woodley just like slammed him.
Yeah, I know. I heard someone I heard someone tweeted like he landed an elbow too on Jake Paul, and I'm like, the fuck is happening in this fight? Like this is not this is boxing, right?
I think the elbow might have been what made him bleed, honestly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Elbows are sharp.
Yeah, those two things I think did happen.
Damn.
But yeah, it's just part of the sport, baby. It's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't
So
stop the fight after he slammed him. I thought they were
I
gonna stop.
know.
I thought they were gonna stop it
Should have
after he
counted it as
slammed
a
him.
knockdown, man.
Honestly,
Did you see, so a couple of things. Did you see the clip after Tyron regained consciousness? Did you see the clip of him walking up to Jake Paul like before they did the announcements and he's like, I wasn't done yet, man.
I did not see that.
There's like a behind the scenes clip where he walks up to him and that's like the first thing he says and it's like, did you just wake up from your nap? Like, I think you were done.
I did not remember getting knocked out at all. But
Yeah. Well, I guess when he first woke up, he was saying like, no, 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 like he couldn't
uh,
believe it. But the other thing too is, did you see the picture of Mama Woodley laughing after the fight? Oh damn. Okay, I gotta send you this picture and then edit it. You should edit it into the recording.
okay.
But basically, it's them standing in the ring after they did the announcements and like both their moms are there and like Woodley looks so disappointed and his mom's just like cracking up like fuck yeah, like we made a lot of money.
What is it? Oh my god. Her and Jake Paul. Yeah, I did see her and Jake Paul talking a lot. And then all of a sudden, I did not see her laughing though. Is that Jake Paul's mom to the
Yeah,
left? That's
the
funny.
blonde one.
Woodley seems like the only one not having fun.
I wonder why.
Like everyone else looks so happy. He looks very sad.
I mean, it sounds like it was a pretty like boring fight, but it sounded like a pretty boring fight, but it sounded like Woodley possibly would have won if it went to scorecards.
I think he would have won if he went to scorecards, honestly. That's
Yeah,
what I thought was gonna happen.
so 2 more rounds if he could have made it.
But yeah, that's funny.
I'm used to Tyron letting us down at this point. It's funny too. I'm sure you don't follow anyone on MMA Twitter at this point, but I follow a lot of people that just like literally tweet about MMA, like not even fighters, just like fucking like memers and shit. Like there's people that
Yeah.
like have like parody accounts of the MMA referees and stuff
Okay.
and shit like that. And they were like making memes about Tyron and after the fight, and they're like, Tyron's got to give his UFC belts back now. Like they don't count anymore.
He's no longer a UFC legend at this point.
Yeah, rescind his offer for the Hall of Fame and everything.
No, bro, it's different. Boxing's different. If Jake Paul would never do UFC with him, probably.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna make a video here soon, um, on UFC 4, where basically I'm gonna make. They already have Tyron obviously because he's a UFC fighter, but I'm gonna make hang on, sorry. Um, I'm gonna. Can you hear her still?
I just heard her yell a little bit. It's very faint.
Okay. Um, but basically, I'm gonna make Jake Paul in the UFC game, and they already have Tyron, and then you can put them up against each other, and I'm gonna commentate over it. That's like Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley 3, this time in MMA.
In the octagon.
Someone's really getting knocked out again this time.
Jake Paul clobbering him.
Yeah, probably.
Freaking RKOing him.
Yeah, shit like that. I don't know. I
Okay.
think it'll be fun. It'd
But
be more fun if Woodley didn't get knocked out cold for
that's
like 2
true.
minutes.
It was funny when he did get knocked out though, because he was stiff.
I know it looked
He looked so goofy.
that. Yeah, that was what the fakest looking part was him going that stiff,
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I
and
was like, bro.
he went as flat as a pancake.
But also, I'm impressed that he's that stiff, so it makes me feel like maybe it was real. But
Oh
okay,
no, I think it definitely was real, but just like it looked cartoonish for
yeah,
sure.
that's what I'm saying. Like I was like, I like turned him around. I was like, bro, it's just like Looney Tunes right now. This isn't like real.
And the worst part is of all this, you have to actually give credit to Jake Paul because even though he probably did this on steroids and 20 years younger than his opponent, he did take the fight on like 2 weeks' notice when he was
Yeah.
preparing for Tommy Fury,
Well,
the
okay.
British lad.
Let's talk about the UFC event for like 10 minutes here before I go and do my other thing. Um, I
So
didn't see
yeah,
all of them. I saw the
yeah, you saw the main card pretty much.
yeah.
So we saw UFC 269, last big pay-per-view of the year. Oliveira versus Poirier.
Mhm.
What'd you think?
Um, I thought it was entertaining. I was rooting for the Brazil. It was Oliveira. Oliveira was a
Yeah,
Brazilian guy. I was rooting for him. Um, he got what happened? I forgot how. And he submitted them right at the
yeah,
end.
choked him out in the third round.
Yeah. That was an intense fight. There was a lot of moments I feel like where it could have went either way. Um, I think they both did a very good job. It's just the Oliveira guy was very lanky and just all over the place. He was just like he was like Mr. Fantastic or something. Like he was just really stretchy. And,
He is very long.
like he was like fighting Luffy or something. There
Yeah,
it was a lot, but he did a good job. Um and he yeah, like but towards the end of the fight, I think when he finally ended up submitting them, like he was basically like on his back. Like he was like carrying him on his back and he was just
I
like
know.
stretching around him. I was like, what the heck? But
Yeah, Charles is very. I was saying it while during the fight, but I was saying he's like very snake-like because like
yeah.
he gets on your back and he just locks and chokes so easily.
That's crazy. But yeah, I did enjoy that fight. And I also enjoyed the fight right before that with
Yeah,
Nunez.
you witnessed one of the greatest upsets in the company's history, man.
That was insane. I just because I don't I haven't really watched much UFC, but like Nunez is one of those fighters that I have actually heard about just because she's so popular. Um
Hmm.
and to see her lose like that, I was just like, what?
Well, she's
Like,
so accomplished too.
yeah,
So it's
like
like, hey, yeah, there was something wrong with her in that fight for sure. Like, props to Juliana, like good for her for doing that. But obviously something was wrong with Nunez if she's completely gassed out going into the second round. She's done 5 rounds so many times in her life.
Yeah,
And you're telling me after 5 minutes she's that tired?
that's true. She was looking. They were both looking pretty winded, but Nunes was tired. I've never seen her fight before, but like,
She's usually so much more coordinated than that. And then the second round, she just stopped moving her head. Like Juliana hit her with like 3 jabs in a row, 3 or 4, and it looked fucking. It looked like she just wasn't there mentally.
yeah, that was. I, yeah, that was man. That was crazy. I was hyped though. Are you gonna tell the people how everyone you picked lost?
Yeah. So the way my picks have been going is like every other week it switches. So one week everyone I pick wins, and the next week everyone I pick loses. So the week just before everyone I had picked won. So this past week with the UFC 269, everyone I was picking was losing from the start of the card to the end. So I knew when fucking Amanda Nunes of all people lost, the biggest favorite on the entire card. Actually, she might have been one of the biggest favorites in the company's history again there too. I was like, shit, okay, I want Charles to win. I'm picking Dustin. And it worked.
And then it works. That is
Nah,
nuts.
I think Charles is just actually really good. Charles I've only seen him fight a few times now because he kind of exploded recently. He got like one big fight uh, last year at the end of last year against Tony Ferguson, who I don't know if you've heard of him, but
No.
he's Tony's like a legend of the sport too, but he's kind of like going on a decline now. And Charles absolutely like dominated that fight from start to finish, and then earned a title shot that way. And then he's kind of been in the UFC forever, but finally has been like getting his like dues.
Okay.
So it's great to see that. I didn't want Dustin to win because and I know you probably don't know anything about this, but Dustin, like I like Dustin as a person, but his fans are so fucking annoying. His like fanboys on Twitter, they just don't shut up, man. Like everything, they're you tweet anything about like someone like a lightweight fighter, and then they're just like, oh, here's Dustin Poirier's resume, and they bring out all of his fights and like his fight of the nights and stuff because he has a lot of great fights, but and like he's a great fighter, but if he would have won this fight, then he would have beat Conor McGregor twice this year and won the title, and then
Oh
you wouldn't.
yeah. I
Yeah, you
forgot
wouldn't.
he fought Conor McGregor. I forgot.
Yeah, so you would have never heard the end of Dustin Poirier's resume after that.
Um,
So, so I'm glad Charles won because like also Charles won the belt when it was vacated. Like you know Habib, right?
no,
The
I don't
Russian
know.
dude that choked out Conor.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, yes. So he retired last year, and Charles won the vacant belt, like between him and Michael Chandler, like another big lightweight.
Okay.
And so him being able to defend it against Dustin makes him look more like a legitimate champion than oh he was just like winning a vacant belt.
Okay. That makes sense. Was the guy he fought for the belt not as good?
Michael Chandler?
Yeah.
No, Michael. It was the same thing as like this fight where Michael Chandler got really close to finishing him in the first round. Like Michael Chandler like knocked Charles down and almost got him out of there, but Charles was able to defend himself and get through the round. And the very next round, it's so funny to me because I always like laugh at this moment, but in first 15 seconds, Charles catches him with a left hook and knocks Chandler down, and then like proceeds to knock him out. And it's so funny to me because this happened exactly when they were showing the live betting odds on the screen, and they were showing Chandler had turned to a minus like 400 favorite or something. And I was like, damn, that turned around really quickly.
Dang, a lot of people lost a lot of money there. Um,
So a lot of people said it was a fluke too because of like the luck of like catching him with the perfect left hook.
yeah.
But now Charles almost got knocked out by Dustin in this fight and managed to pull through and choke him out in the third round. So now the new meme is like, no one can stop rocked in the first round Dustin or rocked in the first round Charles.
Jesus. That's saying when is the we're about to end this here, so I go to the next one. But like what is the next when is the next UFC event?
I believe it's January 22nd. Let me
Second.
check real quick.
Like are there ones like every week or is it a monthly thing?
So there's usually a couple fight nights a month,
Okay.
and so like in between big pay-per-views, and then there's one big pay-per-view a month usually. So yeah, it's January 22nd. That's for the heavyweight title between Ngannou and Gon. So you should definitely be in town for that because I'm gonna be buying it by default.
Okay. Um I may be in town. You said the second, right?
22nd
Oh, the
of January.
22nd. No, I'm probably not gonna be in town.
The fuck?
I'll watch it online. Um, but all right. Uh, thank you for waking up this morning to speak to me. Um, I will definitely
No
watch the
problem.
next UFC fight. If there's any good boxing matches, I'll probably try to look at those.
I gotta try to get you into the fight nights too, because like that's how you like get to know a lot of the like contenders.
Okay. Um, maybe we could look at some slap boxing championships.
Yeah, honestly, like if we're doing a fighting in general podcast, we could do that too.
Look at a slap boxing. I would enjoy talking about the slap boxing scene. Honestly, that'd be funny. Um,
Yeah.
I gotta plug
If
this
you
shit
send me
in.
like the channels to watch, I'll watch that shit.
Okay. Let me see. I had to plug my computer in because it's about to die. But yeah. Any closing thoughts here?
Um Jake
Yeah.
Paul just proved that MMA is non-existent.
What do you mean?
He just knocked out one of the legends of the sport, man.
That is true.
Jake Paul is the best boxer of our age.
Of our generation.
Yeah, he's the modern day Muhammad Ali.
Did you see that picture? That meme where
Of
it was
him
him in
when he knocked
the
out Nate Robinson.
yeah, no. Wait, was that or was it Tyron Woodley? There was a picture, it was Jake Paul and then Muhammad
Standing over
Ali,
him.
and they were doing the same stance, the same pose.
They did that in the Nate Robinson fight. It might have happened in the Woodley fight too. If you saw it last night, I don't know, but he's done it. He's done it with Nate Robinson for sure, and
Okay,
it's like, oh my gosh,
it's so funny, man. Well, okay. My
we're in
closing
the bad timeline.
we are my closing thoughts are just yeah,
How do you feel
Mama
about this new era of the
new era
podcast?
the new era of the podcast. I like it. I like having a specific thing to talk about. It can get me into fighting more. I already like think it's cool, whatever. Just I haven't really delved into it, but like, it gives me an excuse to delve into something new, and I think this would be very interesting. Um, that's it for me. Do you want to do the outro?
We don't do roadside service.
We don't do roadside
Oh
service.
yeah, this has
Is
been
that how it went?
AAA.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, this has been AAA. We are a fighting podcast now.
yeah,
Woohoo!
yeah.
We are the most credentialed to talk about fighting.
Yes, we are.
Clearly,
Obviously, I've seen about 3 fights, and you're a fight watching veteran, so we're
we'll
good.
we'll educate him more. It won't be a problem.
Exactly. I'm gonna know all the terms by like next week.
Exactly.
That's the rattlesnake hold.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's the flying cobra kick. Oh shit, I'm getting a call. All right. Yeah, see you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming through, Andrew. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye
Or is it
bye.
next week? Or is it just every fight? We'll find more fights. I don't know. Yeah.
We'll figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.